Hey everybody, so welcome to the reading of the hymn or prayer to Sobek. So if all of you have been following my story, I basically showed you a drawing of the Sobek. This is going to be recorded and posted on YouTube, so don't worry about missing the whole thing. It will be on YouTube, so please let people know. I won't be able to read the comments that this is going to be read. All right, we're just going to dive as much into it as quickly as possible, but before I begin or anything like that, sorry, I'm just trying to put my ringer on. So what we're going to explain is Sobek, the god of the Nile, of Crocodopolis, of the Fayyum. Sobek is very well known for being a crocodile god who protected Osiris when he was killed by Set. You could see here, I'll zoom in. I'll try to get in as close as possible here. You could see Sobek wearing a crown with the two feathers of Ma'at on his head. This is known as the crown of Lower Egypt and the horns of Khnum. So he has been given many association. You can see Osiris here on the back, dead, mummified, on top of the crocodile god Sobek, and he's basically being taken over to Isis. He's basically protecting him from Set. Now, from the bottom here, the iconography, just a simple, sometimes I just do a little simple thing where I have me giving an offering of bread and water and wine and beer and then some lotus over to Sobek. It's just a standard offering wearing pretty much the look of a priest with raised arms in adoration and worship, wearing very finely knit linen, as well as a shaven head as a high priest. There's a tree that is associated with Egypt, much as like the palm tree. Over here is another tree with dates in it. It's a date tree, so that's what I put. But this is not what it looks like. This is what I've taken from another papyrus. You can find that at the many different museums. All right, just a couple things before we start the reading. This is written not in hieratic or hieroglyphics, but cursive hieroglyphics. So it's a second level. So hieroglyphics, cursive hieroglyphics, then hieratic, then Demotic, then Coptic, which is the last stage. So this is written in retrograde. Now, generally the canonical direction of hieroglyphs is written from right to left. So we read from right down and then up and down, all the way to the right. But this is known as retrograde. We read right to left, but we're moving leftward. I mean, we're going in this direction. We're going left. So we're reading basically this way, that way, this way, this way, this way, but the hieroglyphs are facing in this direction. So what we're going to do is explain a couple of things. You'll see that some words are missing certain hieroglyphs. You'll say, well, hey, how come this word is not the same over there? That's just the way hieroglyphs were written. Depending on the scribe, he omitted certain hieroglyphs for spacing and basically kept some, removed some. Now, for those who are asking, maybe thinking, why is it red here and why is it black everywhere? Red usually denotes a new sentence, a new idea, or a new thought, or they want to bring attention to a particular sentence that is following after, and that's why they had the red color. Just the last thing for iconography, you can see at the bottom here, this is the way they did the Nile. So this is known as the Nile River, and basically Sobek is sailing upon the Nile, and you can see the waves, the water waves, and that's usually the design for it. Now, the hymn is divided in two. I've taken it from two sections. From the British Museum, they have the papyrus of hymns to worship to Sobek. There are many other papyrus. The hymn basically will end here. So the first section I got from the papyrus, from two of them from British Museum. One will end about, say, I believe it will end about here, and then the new one begins there. So that's the new section that moves over to there. So that's how it's like. All right, so that's pretty much it. Now we're going to begin the reading, and this will be, of course, on YouTube. If you've missed anything, you all will basically be able to enjoy it later. So as I read, I'll explain some of the iconography and explaining some of the history behind the prayer or the hymn itself. So let's begin by reading from over here, if I can zoom down. And if I come up with a couple ideas, I'll let you guys what I think I should be saying, or in case I forgot something. All right. So the first column, we're going to start over here. And it's in red. There is usually an announcement that says, hail to you. So when you say, oh, worship, oh, hail to someone in prayer, this was done over here. It would say basically, hail to you. It's in red. You'll see this appear quite often in red. You'll know it's there when it's in red. So, hail to you. And now we come to here. Before. So, hail to, before. Now, sometimes they'll have the word you. You see the hail? It's over here. And it's over there. All right? They'll have the you word. But this time it's just hail before Sobek. This is how you write the name of Sobek. Sobek. These are uniliteral letters. So, S, B, and K. So, Sibik. And this is the determinative that defines Sobek. You'll see him. Sometimes you'll see it without the Sibek and just the determinative itself, just for spacing. You'll see that somewhere else. So, hail to you, or hail to before Sobek of Shedet. Now, Shedet is the Fayyum, or Crocodopolis. This is the ancient Egyptian name of the city of Fayyum, or Crocodopolis. It's known as the Shedet, or Shedet, because we have the E here. Now, sometimes you'll see it like right over here. It has the determinative of the city district, so you know this is a city, but other times it doesn't, like over here. So this is Shedet. You'll see it again many times appear. So hail before Sobek of Shedet. So this is where he is from. Open the face of Rahes. Now, Rahes is another name for Sobek from the Middle Kingdom. It is even attested to the Nubian or Meroitic period. Rahes is associated as well with Sobek, but a much different name used in a different region. And Rahes also means the lion of the terrible glance. The lion of the terrible glance. So that's Sobek. All right, moving on. We are going over to the next column, and we'll proceed as we keep reading. The next one says, gracious Horus, who is in the midst of the Shedet. So now Sobek has been associated with Horus. So Shedet again, where Horus is associated now. And you'll see I shared a statue of where Horus has the tail of a crocodile. They've been connected together. They've been merged in order to strengthen the deification of Sobek. So gracious is Horus, and that's just by itself Horus, who is in the midst of the Shedet, right? Or the Shedet, which you'll see the Shedet was right over here. That's the end of the sentence, and now we continue. Oh, much like hail to you, we have oh. Okay, right over here, oh. Horus, who appears upon, all right, everybody following? The rivers. Rise high, Sobek. You see Sobek again. Who is in the Shedet, or the Shedet. You see the Shedet here, Shedet. You see it's missing the two lines. It's right over here, but over here it's missing this. Here it has them all, Shedet. Continuing, Re-Horus. So now Horus has been associated with Ra, which is pretty common. Re-Horus, the mighty God. Now continuing, hail to you now. Instead of just hail, it's now hail to you. And then Sobek again of Shedet. One more time, hail to you. All right? Who rises, this is the word weben, rises in the flood. Now the flood is also the god Nun, or the great water of Nun, where everything came out from. You can see a god determinative that tells you this is the god of Nun. Continuing. All right. Horus, who is the chief of the two lands. You see the Taui, but it also has the banks of the Nile. So the two banks of the Nile. So you have the land and the bank, so that makes it the Taui. So Horus, who is the chief of the two Niles. Continuing. He is the bull of bulls. So a bull was very important in ancient Egypt, was associated with virility and strength and power. The great, the word great, the adjective is before. The great male, this is entire word is the word male. So the great male, Lord of the island lands, the island lands. Continuing. Now here is going to be a little bit off, so we'll show it to you. Geb, which is the god of the earth, Geb, has provided you, all right, with your sight. Okay, is everybody following? Great. And has united you with your eyes. You see the two eyes over here? Oh, wait, are we not seeing it? Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. Oh, with your two eyes. So let's read this again. So we'll start over here. I don't want to lose this. So, Geb has provided, so from here to here, provided you, right? You see it? With your face. and has united you with your eyes. So basically it's all towards Sobek, saying what Sobek has been doing. But we'll get over to the next section in a bit. All right, let's keep going. Now we're over here. Let me see if I can make sure I can get that in there. I want to make sure you guys can see it. Okay, next. Zoom out a little here. Okay, continuing. So now we're over here. The strong, sorry about that. Okay, with your eyes, continuing. Strong one, your strength is great. So here it is. Right. The strong one. Right? So the strong one. Then basically is great. This entire word here is great is your strength. And then may you go through, right? This is a verb. May you go through the lakelands. So may Sobek pass through the lakes, the lands of the lakes, which is pretty much the Fayyum. The lakelands are known as the Fayyum, the Crocodopolis, where he comes from, where Sobek basically is the reigning deity in that region. All right, so continuing. May you traverse, right? The legs, which mean motion, traverse. Now, may you traverse the great green. So this word here is the great green. The great green is another word for the great ocean. Now, the Egyptians never liked to go out into the Mediterranean or traverse outside of the Nile. If they go to the Red Sea, they cross over the land to Wadi Hamamat, and they may pass through the Red Sea, but they always stay along the coast. They're afraid to traverse too far out. So the great green is known as the great water that they never cross. The great green, which is the Mediterranean. All right, the great green. And then from there, and may you seek out, right? Seek out. So may you seek out, and then continuing down here, your, can you see? Yeah, your great father. And who is the great father? Well, it's in the next column. Osiris. This is Usir, the name of Osiris. Now that you have found him, so basically Sobek found Osiris, and you have made, basically you have made him live. So Sobek has helped Osiris live again by finding him. That's it. So that's the story. Now, continuing over to here now. You have said, so basically it could be Horus or Osiris, but in this case it's probably, let me see. I think it's probably speaking is mouth of Sokar. So this is probably Horus still speaking. Okay, Horus is still speaking. So you have said, continuing. Now, this cleans the mouth of your father in his name of Sokar. Now, Sokar is the ancient god of the Old Kingdom, and he's usually associated with Osiris. If you look at the Book of the Dead, he is very well connected with him. Sokar is one of the old protective gods from the Old Kingdom. So when you speak the name of Sokar, you are basically speaking the name of an ancient god and therefore connecting yourself with a much older deity than Osiris over here. So Sokar is older. All right, continuing. Now, this is where the new section begins from the second papyrus. I think it was there, but it's here, yeah. You have commanded your children for them to proceed. So them to proceed, right? And care for your father. All right? For your father. And then it's basically for your father. That is him. And then continuing here. In their name. So basically speaking the name of Sokar and the children of Horus and the children of Sobek, and in the name of his children, and everyone is speaking for him, anybody who follows him, the followers of Sobek, basically. All right, let's continue here. Let's just slide over to the next one. Now it's going to make more sense as I read more over to the other side. Now, the carers, right? The carers, those who care, right? The carers of Sokar. So the carers of Sokar. You have pressed upon or pushed upon the mouth of the Lord your Father, who is Osiris. So everything is a blessing to Osiris, who has been saved by Sobek. Now we're going to know a little more about Sobek once we get further down and about his characteristics. This is more a prayer to thanking Sobek for protecting Osiris, and anybody who follows Sobek will be protected because of saving Osiris. This is pretty much the papyrus, giving praise to Sokar and thanking him for saving Osiris, and Osiris is being repaid, and all his followers are being repaid as well. All right, continuing here. Osiris. Now Sobek has done this for Osiris. You have opened for him his mouth. So a ritual of the mouth opening has been performed here from the Book of the Dead. When someone dies, you touch their mouth with a special adze tool, and it would open the mouth of Osiris so he can speak. So Sokar has taken on the role of doing this instead of Anubis. All right, so continuing. So Osiris. So basically, your father Osiris, you have opened. You have opened for him his mouth, right? And now it continues here. You are his son, his beloved. Moving on to the next few sentences over here now. Let's get over there. All right, right over here now. Let's see if we can just get the whole thing in there so I don't have to move it. Perfect. We're almost near the end. We have the 4 columns left. Let's just put this guy over there. All right, great. So now we're over here now. I think Osiris. Okay, you have saved. That's right. So now, you have saved. Now, this is not hail to you. Whoops, the camera almost fell there. We got to make sure we're aligned. All right, so over here. This is not hail to you like the red, but this is more of you have saved. So a declaration that Sobek has saved Osiris. So you have saved, it's a declaration. You have saved your father Osiris. So he has saved. The papyrus states that Sokar has come to the aid of his father. So, one more time. You have saved your father Osiris. Okay? Continuing. You have protected. All right? It's a big one. You have protected. This is the past tense. Protected him. So you have saved him and you have protected your father Osiris. Next. Over here now. Now is basically the ending of the actual, now getting into the titles of Sobek. You have done your job, Sobek, and now these are your titles. And then it goes from here. Said, the word has been said by Sobek, or the person declaring for Sobek the prayer. May Sobek, now you see Sobek is just the determinative. It's not the word of Sobek. It's just the determinative, so you know it's just a crocodile. It doesn't have his full name. Sobek. Now, Sobek, may you appear. All right? And him having ruled the sky. And him having filled the 2 lands. Him having filled the 2 lands. Okay? Now, the 2 lands with, now we're going to move over to the next one, with his power. So Sobek has protected the 2 lands, rules the sky, and he has filled the 2 lands with his power. So he is controlling the 2 lands. Basically, all the land is be given to him. All right, the next one now. Be you powerful. So be you powerful, Sobek, and we're returning to his region of Shedet, which is the Fayyum or Crocodopolis. more powerful than the gods. So he is the most powerful of all the gods, or more than the gods. As Horus, great of the 𝋴𝃀𝃀 crown. This is the title of wearing the 𝋴𝃀𝃀 crown. Horus has been associated. So when you see Horus wearing the white crown of Upper Egypt, the two crowns together, it's known as the 𝋴𝃀𝃀 crown. And now continuing here. Now what is Sobek? A title is being given to Sobek. He is the Lord of slaughter. Now there's a reason. Slaughter means killing and destruction, because Sobek is a crocodile who lives in the Nile and he kills people. Anybody who comes into his water, he kills. So he is known as the Lord of slaughter, of destruction. And now it's in the mansion, so in his temple. Now continuing over here of the mansion, not just the mansion, but also the mansion of the Red King, or the crown of Lower Egypt, right? Where he is located, Lower Egypt. But the Fayyum is in the north, so Lower Egypt. We're almost finishing it off, guys. So it says, may you make holy or sacred the two lands. Okay? With your love. Your love, and then it continues, and fear, which is over here. Love and fear. All right? With your love and your fear. So it's connected. You don't have to put two yours, you just put one. And the fear, which is here, of you. So basically, the two lands. Sorry about that. Let's say it again. May you make holy. Sorry about that, guys. Let's start over. May you make holy the two lands with your love. And now we continue. And the fear of you is great than the gods. So he is more frightening than the gods. Sobek. And now we're done to the last sentence. May Sobek, now you see the full name of Sobek, Sebeka, where over here you only had the crocodile by himself. Where was it again? Right there. Sobek by itself. But over here you have Sobek, but now with the name of Sobek. So, may Sobek appear, all right, and then having him repeated, births, right, births at his coming. So basically he's acting like 𝋴𝃀𝃀, being reborn. He dies and comes back, dies and comes back, dies and comes back. So the way this is read is, Sobek, when you appear, and may you or him repeat his births, be reborn again at his coming. So he is now associating himself with Ra, the sun disk, 𝋴𝃀𝃀. May you come back again multiple times. And that's it, guys. So there is the translation for the hymn. This is a division of two papyrus from the British Museum. There's one section and another section. If you've missed the lesson, don't worry about it. Just go to my YouTube page. It'll be there and you can read it. Watch me explain it to you one more time. And hopefully not with too many mistakes that I made along the way, as I'm trying to be very dramatic and explain. Thanks again for tuning in and watching this. Now, I'm selling this, so if you guys are interested, it's going to be on my Etsy page. It's basically going to be an art. I'm going to stamp it with a wax seal somewhere up here to show that it belongs to me. And that's it, guys. So thanks again for tuning in, and take care. I'm putting this on YouTube, so check it out there.